The red door loomed at the end of the corridor, pulsing faintly like a heartbeat. Ethan hesitated only a moment before grabbing the handle. It was warm to the touch, disturbingly warm. As if someone had been holding it from the other side, he pushed it open. The room beyond was small and circular, lit by a single flickering bulb that swung from the ceiling. On the walls, dozens of photographs, black and white portraits, all the same woman, the same pale face, the same cold eyes. In each photo, she stood in the corridor, closer and closer to the camera, until the last one was just her face, screaming. Ethan stepped closer, his heart racing. The pictures were old, but each had a thin layer of dust except for one, a recent one, still glossy, showing the same woman standing behind him. He spun around. Empty room. "You shouldn't have come here." The voice was inside his head this time, unmistakably hers. He stumbled back, clutching his temples as whispers bled into his mind. Images flashed. A woman in white trapped inside a burning room, screaming his name, though he had never met her. "You took what was mine." The bulb overhead burst, and the room fell into darkness. Something cold brushed past his neck. Then, a breath, inches from his ear. "Now I'll take what's yours." Ethan screamed and bolted out of the room, crashing into the endless hallway again. This time, the corridor was alive, walls breathing, shadows pulsing. The doors began slamming open and shut, one by one. As if the house itself was exhaling rage, he ran until he reached the staircase again. And there, at the bottom, he saw her. The witch. Eleanor. Her hair floated around her like smoke, her eyes glowing white. The floorboards beneath her blackened with every step she took. "You found my corridor," she hissed, voice both near and far. "Now you belong to it." Ethan's breathing was ragged as he backed up the stairs, flashlight trembling in his hand. "What do you want from me?" He cried. "I didn't take anything." The witch smiled, a grotesque, broken-lipped grin. He said the same thing. Her voice echoed with a dozen others, male, female, child, all speaking through her mouth. The air filled with the sound of hundreds of whispers, all merging into one low, hungry moan. Ethan turned and sprinted toward the attic door. He slammed it open and climbed up, panting, pulling it shut behind him. Dust and darkness swallowed him whole. The attic was filled with broken furniture, tattered curtains, and boxes stacked like tombstones. His flashlight beam landed on something, a trunk, carved with the same initials. He opened it. Inside was a woman's dress, white once, now gray and stiff with age, and beneath it, a cracked mirror wrapped in cloth. He lifted it out. The mirror shimmered faintly, even in the dark, and for a second, his reflection was wrong, smiling while he wasn't. Then the whisper returned, louder than ever. "Say my name." He dropped the mirror, and it shattered, releasing a scream that shook the attic floor. And from the shards, hands began crawling out. Pale, broken fingers dragging themselves toward him, pulling at his clothes, his legs. Ethan fought them off, kicking, stumbling back. He looked up, and there she was again, standing upside down on the ceiling, her body twisted backward, her head hanging down toward him. "You woke me," she dropped. The impact threw him across the room. The witch's claws slashed across his arm, burning cold. He swung a rusted pipe and struck her, but it passed through as if she were smoke. "You can't hurt what's already dead," she whispered, her mouth inches from his ear. Desperate, Ethan grabbed one of the candles from a broken lantern and lit it with his lighter. "Then burn again," he shouted, and threw it. The flame caught instantly. Not on the witch, but on the house. The drywood exploded in light. The witch screamed, her form warping, dissolving into mist. But as she vanished, she reached out and touched his chest. "You'll see me in every shadow," she hissed. "In every reflection. You can't leave." The roof collapsed. Ethan blacked out. Ethan woke to sunlight filtering through the cracked windows. He was lying in the ashes of what had once been the Harrington mansion. The house was gone, burned to its bones. Police Cars and fire trucks surrounded the property. Medic crouched beside him. "You're lucky to be alive," she said gently. "We didn't find anyone else inside." Ethan didn't respond. His eyes were fixed on the smoldering ruins. "Anyone else?" he whispered. "But she was here." The medic frowned. "Who?" Ethan looked up, his face pale. "Eleanor Harrington, the woman who built this house." The medic blinked. "Sir, this mansion's been abandoned for over 100 years. He turned away, trembling. He didn't try to explain, Dot, as he was being loaded into the ambulance. He caught his reflection in the small metal tray beside him and froze. Behind his shoulder, barely visible, stood the woman in white. Her eyes glowed faintly. Her lips moved, but no sound came. Ethan's own reflection began to smile weeks later. Ethan sat in his apartment, trying to convince himself it had all been a hallucination. Smoke, trauma, stress. He played back the recovered footage from his ruined camera, frame by frame. Everything looked normal until the very last frame. There she was again, standing behind him in the corridor.